The MyDataHelps Export Database is a cloud-based data store hosted by Carevolution that provides access to all data collected in a MyDataHelps project, including participant information, survey data, wearable data, and EHR data. The export database continuously gathers all export files generated by MyDataHelps and merges the data into a single data store. The export database is helpful if you would like to connect your preferred analytics application directly to MyDataHelps. Commonly connected applications include analytics tools like Tableau and Power BI, as well as data science frameworks such as R, SAS, or Python. You can also obtain a regularly updated copy of the export database that's synced with your preferred cloud provider if you prefer to host your own database and manage access control or a downstream data pipeline. Using this approach requires no file management, no code, and no data engineering. The export database makes it easy to begin analyzing your project's data at the beginning of your project and then refreshing your analysis as new data rolls in. You can monitor your project as it evolves, catch bottlenecks, and begin gathering insight from early results. The export database will be helpful if you'd prefer to focus on analysis rather than data engineering and directly connect the analytics applications that you're already familiar with. Here's how the MyDataHelps Export Database works. The export database has a table for each type of export file that is configured for export from a project. Each time a differential or complete file is generated from MyDataHelps, that file is picked up by the export database. Any data in the export database that exists in the file is updated. New data from the file is added to the related table. In using this approach, the export database consolidates all data from all export files into a single, always up-to-date data store. Here are a couple examples of applications you can use with the export database. You can use the Export Explorer in MyDataHelps Designer to query the export database using SQL and get results in a table. Here's a query to summarize intraday Fitbit data. You can download these results to a file. If you want to use an analytics application of your choice, credentials and configuration information are available here on the External Connection tab. Tableau and Power BI are two examples of analytics applications that you might connect to visually explore data within the export database without using SQL. Here's a Tableau workbook graphing a Fitbit metric over time. You can model data by connecting the export database to data science frameworks such as Python, R, or SAS. Here you can see Fitbit data managed in a Pandas data frame that I'm using to build a simple resting heart rate model. You can also replicate a copy of your export database in Apache Parquet format to a cloud storage account in AWS, GCP, or Azure. Using this option, you host the export database within your own infrastructure. Here's a copy of my project's export database that was synced with Google Cloud Storage that I transferred to BigQuery, and which I'll now use with Vertex AI and Data Studio. Some considerations to keep in mind when using the export database. First, if you do want to use an external application, you'll have to download, set up, and license that application yourself. And second, there's some latency between when MyDataHelps data is gathered from a participant and when it appears in the export database. Data is incorporated into the database shortly after each export file is generated. It's common to set up a schedule to export your data daily, which means the export database would continuously be up to date with yesterday's data. And finally, when you connect an application to the MyDataHelps Export Database, it commonly pulls sensitive data into that environment. You'll need to make certain that appropriate data policies are in place in your organization for access to sensitive data. Please check out our other videos and tutorials if you'd like to dive deeper into setting up common applications or explore common data analytics use cases.